On September 11, 2001, firefighter Stephen Siller and his FDNY brethren answered the call to duty.
They helped rescue thousands and thousands of people, and they knew that they might not come home.
Stephen and 342 firefighters never did make it home that day, as a heartbroken nation looked on in disbelief. Now, 10 years later, over 20,000 people will honor Stephen's memory and the ultimate sacrifice of all 9/11 first responders by running in the footsteps of a hero.
Stephen's symbolic of what so many people did that day.
Stephen's legacy of courage is carried on through the charity that bears his name.
And that's a great thing. It's helped the family take something terrible and turn it into something wonderful.
This is a CBS special presentation, The Firefighter Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Run.
What started in 2002 with 2,500 runners has grown to more than 20,000 in New York this year, with more than 30 tunnel-to-tower runs in other cities across the country. They are all literally running in the footsteps of history, honoring firefighter Stephen Siller's selfless act of heroism. His decision to run through the tunnel to the burning towers is forever a symbol of the best of the American spirit. Today's run will also pay tribute to Stephen's fellow 342 firefighters who made the ultimate sacrifice on 9/11.
This year, the 10th anniversary of the event, signifying Stephen's run through the tunnel. And we always tell people that Stephen is out there in the name, but there were so many different stories like Stephen's that we can't tell. Some of them that we don't even know were taking place inside the building.
10 years ago, having just finished an overnight shift at Brooklyn Squad 1, Stephen was on his way to play golf with his 3 brothers when he heard the news of the World Trade Center attack on his scanner. Instead of grabbing his golf clubs, he grabbed his turnout gear and headed to the towers, but traffic was stopped at the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Undaunted, he strapped on 75 pounds of firefighting gear and ran through the tunnel in hopes of meeting his squad to do the job he'd trained for.
I'm sure he was running and saying, God, I have children, but his job was to save people, and that overcame everything.
It speaks of great courage and commitment to what he did for a living. For what first responders do, they put their lives on the line every single day. As a family, he has inspired us to become better people because of what he did that day.
Stephen was last seen alive on West and Liberty Streets, but his courageous spirit is alive in all who know his story, and it lives on with the creation of the Stephen Siller Children's Foundation. The signature fundraising event is today's Tunnel to Towers run, but there are many other fundraising efforts which have raised more than $10 million over the past decade.
People have supported us and supported our mission, and that we've been able to do this unbelievable work.
Give yourselves a hand. You've been great tonight.
2 highlights from this past year: actor Gary Sinise and his Lieutenant Dan Band performed in St. Louis. And this month, a fundraising concert on Staten Island, headlined by Five for Fighting.
More than a bird, more than a plane.
And once again, an artist donated a painting to the foundation to be auctioned off. This year, pop artist Marco showed us his work in progress, his painted tribute to the Tunnel to Towers run. NASCAR is a new foundation donor this year, selling die-cast model cars. And ESS donated proceeds from the sale of 9/11 commemorative sunglasses.
You talk to these people that are doing so much for our foundation and bringing so much goodness to our cause. We didn't know we were going to do any of this. There's a master plan that we're not involved with that keeps on telling us to do these things, and we are going to do it because of so much help from so many great people, individuals and companies.
The money raised goes to causes that meant a lot to Stephen Siller. $2.2 million went to building Stephen's House, a home for at-risk teenagers on Staten Island. $700,000 went to burn centers in New York and across the U.S. Nearly $500,000 went to awards and scholarship programs. $2 million went to the Katrina Children's Relief Fund. And the Siller Foundation has donated $2.5 million to support military veterans. The main focus is to build specially designed homes for servicemen and women who were wounded in combat in Afghanistan and Iraq.
We're taking the most severely injured of them all, the quadruple amputees, and building them homes. Somebody who is completely paralyzed, we're building them a home, and we've just made a commitment to build 38 new homes for our triple amputees out there. Think of the price that they paid, and they're there because of what happened on 9/11. Make no mistake about it. So as a foundation, as a 9/11 foundation, you know, a foundation that was formed because of what my brother did on 9/11, we feel a responsibility to make sure that we take care of the families left behind of our men and women that in uniform that are paying such a big price.